Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our call tonight on this beautiful Monday, wintry day. And my name is Jill Berth, and I am here with my co-host, Heidi Grazzini. So I'm going to introduce Heidi really quick. She lives in Prior Lake, Minnesota. She is married to the love of her life. She has two beautiful kids. She is super passionate about health and nutrition, and she is one of our platinum founders here at Zallevo. So we love Heidi and the servant leader that she is. So Heidi, tell me what you are excited about for tonight.
I have a list. Can I just read you my list?
I love it.
I'll keep it short, but the thing that stands out to me the most is, fitness. I was an athlete, a young athlete. So I can really tell, when you get the appropriate sleep or when you don't, or just how your body is fueled. And once I was older, I was introduced to pre-workouts. And it's just interesting because thinking back, I even had jars of old ones in my cabinet. And there always was some type of side effect, some type of negative, like feeling or crash or the tingles. Or they were like neon green, like kryptonite. They literally glowed. And so I was like, what am I putting in my body here? So I never found one that really I felt was worth, the side effects. So with Alpha, I'm so excited because not only does it have the integrity stamp of Zallevo on it, but I'm just so ready to take to receive my best performance through using this formulation. And there's a list of other things. There are some challenges that I deal with in my health. And so the creatine and the nitric oxide, I know are going to be extremely beneficial for me to be able to just utilize to take my workouts, to the next level. And if it's keeping up with my kids, my athlete at that, how this is going to benefit her and her performance. And I'm just excited to get it in my body. I wanted to take this call and this introduction down into like my gym and be like, when is it shipping? When is it coming? When is it going to be here, you guys? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to get it in my body.
Oh, Heidi, thank you. So many of us are so excited about so many things. That was a lot of so's in one sentence. But in the chat, I want you guys to write in the chat what you are super excited about for everything that's happening here. And I'm going to introduce our guest tonight. So Kjersti has been my friend for over 20 years. She's a mother of 3 children, and she has an amazing fiance who we call Hot Bob. If you saw him, you would know why. And she grew up in Whitefish, Montana. She currently lives in Phoenix, Arizona. She's been in the health and wellness industry for over 20 years. That's where I met her. Throughout her career, she's fulfilled many roles in so many different departments, as far as field education, event training, research and development, and sales and marketing. She worked with a billion-dollar company where she interviewed all these people, and she produced over 3,000 audio video podcasts and educating. And she's a master, not only interviewer, but she's just a mastermind. She has the most brilliant mind. And we are so grateful to have her here at Zallevo as our director of our formulations, and what incredible formulations they are. So we are so blessed to have you, Kjersti, and so I want to welcome you to the call tonight.
Thank you so much. It's exciting to be here. I'm at home office this week, and I love this community of people. You guys are beautiful.
Well, we love to have you here all the time, and it was so good to see you in office this week. So let's get started. Yeah, let's get started with last week. We learned about MindSync and what an incredible formulation that is. And who was I talking to today? They're like, I just need 10 of these. It was one of our Aussie friends. She's like, I need 10 bottles right away. So anyway, so we are going to
tell whoever it is. We'll pull them off the line for them and ship them down there. Yeah.
I love it so much. So let's start with alpha. I'm so excited to get this in my body, to have it give me the best workout of my life. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and you should be able to share your slides and we'll get
Yes.
started. How about that?
I'm excited. I am so excited. Well, first of all, speaking of MindSync, last week we talked about it. And so if you missed it, definitely go catch it. I don't know where these things are getting posted, but lots of great information. And isn't it fun to know that you're going to be swallowing capsules of MindSync in just, like a week or so? Isn't that exciting? Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait myself, right? I'm waiting with you. So today's focus is obviously alpha, as Jill and Heidi have mentioned. And it's interesting because maybe some of you, and especially some people that didn't join this evening to watch this live, maybe it's because they think that alpha isn't for them. And I'm going to tell you, everybody, alpha is for every single person. If you are breathing, you can use alpha. So pass the word, because I see that there's probably, a few less on today. And it's funny how people will just out of, their thought process, eliminate themselves out of an equation. So pass the word when this recording is complete. So when it comes to fueling our bodies, it's a fascinating science. It is fascinating. Right now, my research and my work is really focused deeply on the endocrine system. And the endocrine system is all of those fun little glands, from the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the thyroid, your ovaries, your testicles, all of these little glands, your adrenal glands that produce and secrete a substance, a chemical of some kind per each gland that flows out into the bloodstream and reaches human cells and ignites and does something specific. And when your glands are underperforming, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it somehow, some way, and it might sneak up on you. And before you know it, it's just like you just don't feel as zesty as you used to. And so there's a tremendous amount of science. And this is what really excites me, is because our product line as we know it is stellar. It is state of the art. It is exquisite. It is clean, pure, concentrated. It is beautiful for the pretty much the entire family ages 16 and up, with the exception of some of them being ages 4 and up. And so it's safe. There's no artificial colors. There's no artificial flavors. There's no artificial sweeteners. There's no preservatives in our formulations. We're not into the business of putting ingredients into formulas that really should never go into your body. And so we are, in essence, a clean label company. If we get it the cleanest we can get it. We get it in the most potent way that we can get it. We get it in ways where it comes to us in a patented form where you cannot get it anywhere else. And with that patented ingredient, there comes beautiful studies attached to that patented ingredient that show us that when you ingest it at a clinical dose, what happens physiologically in the body. And it's really, really exciting. It's so exciting. So that is always a part of the equation when we are working diligently in the lab to bring you new, exciting formulas. And so in stating that, let's move into alpha. Alpha is just such a beautiful formulation. And I'm so excited to have you taste it, to have you ingest it and feel it, because this is a formula that when it moves into the body, you can feel it within 15 minutes because of some of the patented ingredients moving into the body and helping to increase blood flow and oxygenation to your muscles. That is a physiological response that's far beyond just what a stimulant can do. Because if you can bring blood flow to the muscle and more oxygen to the muscle, you will find more power, more strength, and more endurance. So let me actually just see what's going on here. 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me get to the right screen and see if I can do this again. No, it won't do it. Let me start this over 1 second and see if I can get this going again. Apologize for the delay, guys. For some reason, it was acting up. It's done this before. Let me restart this. Ah, there we are. Okie dokie. Can you guys see that?
We sure can.
Hey, all right. All right. So this, for those of you that were watching in while we had the summit, our largest annual event of the year, you know that we launched 8 formulations. Many of you are familiar with eVibe and know that we have transitioned eVibe into the red performance line. So as we exhaust the eVibe supply down to 0 in the black packaging, you will see in your subscribe and saves and orders the red packaging be implemented in. Same exact formulation, nothing has changed with eVibe. So don't worry about that. It tastes the same, it feels the same, it works the same. It's just that we changed the branding a bit and moved it into the performance line. So that's your performance lineup. And again, who is this for? Anyone. It doesn't matter if you are a weekend warrior or an extreme athlete that is competing at a very high level. This product is for you. So don't be scared of it. Just because it's a pre-workout, don't be scared, and we'll talk about why. But first, let me tell you what alpha isn't. So it's incredible when you take a look at the energy drinks today. You are dealing with a lot, and I don't want to name any names here. There's a lot of energy drinks that come in cans. There's pre-workouts that come in big tubs where they have big scoops, small scoops, medium-sized scoops. You put it in water, you mix it up, and you're wondering what you're drinking. And sometimes some of these formulations are really scary. There's one particular that is an RTD, a ready to drink. That's what RTD stands for. And you can get it typically at the counter at your athletic club. And it has a little red lid. And it's so potent that it has lines on the side of the bottle so that you can drink down to a specific point, because if you overdose on this, you're in big trouble. You will get heart palpitations and feel jittery. And in most cases, with an overdose of this said energy drink, RTD, it takes at least 24 to 48 hours to work out of the system. You're not going to feel the same for that span of time. So that's very scary for a lot of people because they don't know. So if you're just for the first time entering into the pre-workout space and you're wondering about safety and efficacy, you found it here with Zallevo. So you don't have excess caffeine. You don't have unregulated chemicals, unknown ingredients, artificial ingredients, or preservatives. So have peace of mind that that does not exist here at Zallevo. So with that, we also know that the energy drink and the caffeine industry and the pre-workout industry, it's huge. We're talking billions and billions of dollars. And based on trends, it's expected to double in money in the next 5 years. And why is that? Well, they're just following what's trending over the last 5 years and the last 10 years. And if I had to hypothesize why this is, I truly believe that with the body becoming more inefficient instead of efficient, based on the diet, the traditional diet that we're eating today, the toxic load that the body's taking on, which is disrupting pretty much every single bio response in the body and metabolic response in the body. It is leading to people having decreased energy, decreased mental clarity and acuity, decreased zest of life and wanting to go out and do. So to fix the problem, this is the energy drink world and the pre-workout world is the Band-Aid approach. So again, with Zallevo, this is a different approach. We are taking specific nutrients that can move into the body and enter into the cell and feed and nourish the cell instead of working simply on obscene amounts of caffeine, and provide these foods and substances that can move into the cell and ignite the cell within and allow the mitochondria within the cell to be able to produce energy currency, ATP, and the list goes on. So you're literally elevating your vibe. Is there a bump of caffeine in alpha? Oh, you better believe it, because we're talking, if you need something that's instant, are we going to feed and nourish the cells? Yes, but we also will provide you a little bit of sustained natural caffeine that will last hours and not be this pop and drop high and low that could potentially give you some jitters and affect your cardiovascular in the wrong way. So let's dive into alpha. Alpha is amazing. And again, it doesn't matter if it's any kind of physical activity or exercise workouts, weight training, cardio, it doesn't matter. This is one of the most important things that you can do for your health and well-being is to move your body. If you move your body, you will use fuels. If you move your body can naturally detox better. Your lymphatics will become stimulated so that the fluids within your body in the inner exchange will be moving and flowing and going. And with that comes beautiful natural detoxification. You will eliminate things better. You will burn through nutrients quicker. You will create better efficiency in the body. So your body, it's truly, truly designed to, let me go back here one second. Previous, hang on. Yep, there we go. So you will truly, truly make a difference in your body overall if you just move your body. And I want to talk to those who are maybe watching this where maybe exercising is kind of intimidating right now. This is not just for the cut athlete. This message is for people that are maybe figuring out how they need to move their sedentary body. You start one step at a time. And don't overwhelm it yourself. Don't complicate it. Just start one step at a time. Step outside your front door. Walk around 1 block. And then maybe tomorrow it's 2 blocks. And maybe the next day it's 3 blocks. Maybe you stick it at 3 blocks of walking for 2 weeks. And then you increase to 4 blocks and then 5. Maybe you actually at that point step up the speed of your walking and the pace of your walking and get your arms going a little bit. That's where you begin. So just remember not to complicate things. If you feel like, you know what, I've been told that I need to weight train because it helps with bone health and bone density because I'm getting older. Maybe for guys, you've been told that you need to weight train and lift weights and get that resistance training to help with testosterone production in the body. Then do that. If you don't know what you're doing when it comes to weight training, hire a trainer. Hire a trainer, $50, pay the dude, pay the lady, and have them show you the ropes in the gym and just take it one step at a time and say, I don't know what I'm doing. Help me out. Teach me everything. I know nothing. And when you walk in and they're like, all right, this is a newbie, I'm going to teach everything. Then don't allow it to overwhelm you. Just soak it in. And sometimes it takes working with a trainer 2, 3, 4 times to get things down in the gym. But if that's the case, if that's you, do that. So physical activity, one of the most valuable things that you could do for your health and well-being. And then along sweeps in alpha. So when you're preparing for this physical activity, whether it's walking around the block, going for a hike in the mountains, doing the gardening work like the Hintons so much love, that's where alpha comes into play. Take it 15 to 30 minutes before you start your physical activity, and it supports increased blood flow and oxygenation, delivering that to your muscles, again, empowering you, giving you resilience, strength, and endurance. It helps to improve muscle recovery. So when you've stopped your activity, you move into a recovery phase. And so alpha lasts far beyond 1 hour of workout or 1 hour of activity. This stuff lasts up to 4 to 6 hours in the body. Can you imagine? So, but your dose is going to hit you 15 to 30 minutes in. This helps to fight muscle fatigue and muscle damage, increase muscle volume and muscle pump. It also drives mental acuity and focus. So that means that alpha could play a role somewhere else besides just physical activity. Of course, it's going to impact stamina and performance. Again, it's safe for ages 16 and older. You can feel the difference after 15 minutes. It's sweetened with our incredible zero cane, and it hosts 200 milligrams of natural caffeine. Now our eVibe hosts 140 milligrams of natural caffeine. Alpha, 200 milligrams. So you got 60 grams more or 60 milligrams more of natural caffeine. And you can, of course, mix this in any bottle of water, any thermos, any shaker bottle, ice, water, and combine, and hit it and go. Notice that the mixing instructions are for 8 ounces. That is by design, because a lot of times when we interviewed a bunch of people that are avid pre-workout drinkers, one of their biggest complaints is that it's so potent on flavor and sweetness that they have to put it in quite a bit of water in order to not have it be so gaggingly potent and sweet. So this is flavored and sweetened at an 8-ounce mark, and you can do less water, you can do more water, you choose. But the other thing too is that we have found that people, when they want to get this into the body, they want it into the body in one fell swoop. This is not a sipping beverage. This is bring it all in. And so that's why you have only 8 ounces. But again, you can mix it in less ounces if you'd like. Can you combine this with other things such as Drench that's coming out, or Collagen 300? Yes, you can. What you cannot combine alpha with is eVibe. Or else you are going to be crazy, coming in with, I don't know, what is it, 340 milligrams of caffeine, a little too much. So pass the word. This is not designed to be mixed with eVibe. So again, it doesn't matter if you're weight training, cardio, hiking, yoga, gardening, walking, any kind of sports, competitive sports, or even presentations, guys. If you are getting ready to do an in-home presentation or like some sort of meeting or an event, and you're the speaker and you need a bump of energy and you want blood flow going to that brain and oxygenation going to that brain and your body igniting and lighting up, alpha is multi-purpose in even that direction too. But I do want to talk about the avid athletes, because while this is a product that spans many, let's focus in just a second on the targeted market of athletes. When it comes to athletes, especially competitive athletes that have to abide by anti-doping laws and regulations, these are regulations that are set forth by an organization that guards the athlete's body and physique with very strict requirements where they can't dope. And it really creates a better competitive space for all of the athletes, so that it creates fair advantage for everybody to show up based on their hard work and discipline and to compete together without someone taking steroids or some sort of a doping material. This product will eventually be sport certified for even Olympic athletes, NFL athletes, Major League Baseball, hockey, it doesn't matter. This will eventually be certified along with all of the other performance formulations. So just know that that's in the docket to do in future. But you're dealing with very, very safe ingredients here, even for the most avid athlete. Let's talk about our very first ingredient on the list. This is nitrosamine. Nitrosamine is an advanced patented complex, and it completely wipes out limitations. It gives you a competitive edge, and it's very, very unique in that it has a ton of synergistic effects. I mean, this is an ingredient that lasts up to 6 hours in the body. And its main design is that it significantly increases nitric oxide levels in the body. Your body naturally produces nitric oxide. And so this kind of triggers that production and improves and raises nitric oxide levels, which in turn help to improve blood flow, focus, muscle pump, energy. It increases muscle volume. It combats muscle damage. It assists in the recovery post-exercise or activity. It drives mental focus and acuity. And again, it lasts up to 6 hours. So when you dose with alpha, you're going to find that higher elevated performance in the beginning, but you'll find sustained relief, which makes it powerful for endurance athletes that are hitting it and potentially running a marathon or even an ultra marathon, or they're a triathlete of some kind. So very exciting. Of course, you can take a look here at the graphs. This, in comparison to other amino acids that are known to help drive nitric oxide production in the body, check out the difference of nitrosamine in comparison to even L-arginine or citrulline, and in what it can do when driving nitric oxide within the body. Very exciting. Next on the list is beta-alanine. Beta-alanine is also a non-essential amino acid that it supports so much, but it's designed to help improve your performance and to also reduce the acidity in your muscles during high intensity exercise. You have acids that actually naturally build up in the muscle. Beta-alanine is designed to help sweep those out so that it avoids any kind of breakdown, damage, or even soreness post-performance. It increases exercise capacity, muscle endurance, and also decreasing muscle fatigue. It's a powerful antioxidant, and it also has wonderful immune supporting benefits to it. Next is creatine. This is one of the most misunderstood, incredible compounds. Creatine is naturally found in a lot of foods that we eat, especially proteins, certain proteins, and it is exquisitely important for your brain. So the majority of the population in the world don't get enough creatine in their diet. And so it's again, one of your body's natural sources of energy. So as you can find it in the tissues throughout your body, plays a crucial role in your body's ability to metabolize and to create its own energy, and even for a muscle to contract. This is an extremely safe ingredient. I think there's misconceptions out there of, oh, creatine is going to damage my kidneys, or this isn't for me, or it's unsafe. And that's all untrue. So just a little myth busting there. It's exceptionally safe. It should be a part of every single person's diet for brain health, cognitive health, as well as physical performance. So about half of your body's supply, it comes from a carnivorous diet. So if you're a plant-based diet, you are certainly not getting enough creatine. So this is where alpha can really sweep in. But the other half is produced in your liver and kidneys, and then it's delivered to your skeletal muscles. It assists in improved strength and exercise performance. It helps with increased lean mass. It helps with muscle recovery, and it boosts within athletes just bursts of energy. Extreme bursts of energy, especially in short bouts or high intensity activities such as sprinting. And it actually, if you can do that high burst, short bout, high intensity activity, that in itself drives human growth hormone. So think about it. If you can take a product, get it into the body that ignites this feeling and this sensation in your body that allows you to have this exuberant, robust energy to be able to perform physically, so that you can do those high intensity activities to help increase your human growth hormone, which is the secret sauce, the fountain of youth, then that's where alpha comes into play. Huge benefit. Next is taurine. Taurine assists with enhancing performance by reducing muscle fatigue and allowing you to hold any kind of given activity and that intensity of that activity for a longer period of time. Again, this is an endurance ingredient. It enhances muscle contraction, a delay of muscle fatigue. It helps to improve strength, power, athletic performance. It's also a cofactor in assisting oxygen uptake, improving recovery times. So it's a beautiful ingredient. And also too, it's been known to help assist in fat burning during exercise. So this is a leaner you coming into play with taurine. Next is our incredible minerals. We chose 2 of our mineral complexes specific because of physical performance, athletic performance activity. First and foremost is our Z1 minerals. These are 72 ionic sea minerals and trace minerals. And the second one is the Z3 minerals, which is 70 plus ionic fulvic minerals and trace minerals. Now I want to hone in on Z3 for just 1 second, because we've all heard of fulvic acid. This is one of the major components to Shilajit. Shilajit is a substance that oozes out of the Himalayan mountains, and it was westernized about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Now Indians have been eating Shilajit for centuries. And what scientists discovered is that when the villagers at the base of the Himalayan mountains would eat Shilajit, they found that they lived very long, healthy, active lives. And when they died, they just laid down and it was their time. They didn't succumb to death through disease and illness and the breaking down of the body. It was a very fascinating bit of research that the scientists discovered. And so, of course, with modern technology, they moved Shilajit into the lab and they're like, what is inside of this substance that's oozing out of the mountains that is so nourishing to the body? And what they found that makes this most unique is that it's really rich in fulvic acid. Now, fulvic acid, when you look at it under the microscope, it looks kind of like a sponge, and it really is an attractor to other nutrients. So when you ingest fulvic acid, all of the other little nutrients that it rides into the body with will piggyback on these fulvic acid molecules. And then all of a sudden, when it moves into the bloodstream and bumps up against cells, then the cell senses fulvic acid and will open doors wide to take that fulvic acid inside. But everything else that's piggybacking on the fulvic acid molecule moves into the cell as well. And the cell really doesn't care, right? But the cell cares about that fulvic acid. Now, that's Shilajit. We found a source of decomposed vegetation, plant life that dates back 33 million years. And it doesn't have a fulvic acid content of 20% like Shilajit. It has a fulvic acid content of 40%. So it's double the potency. So if you can imagine the beautiful benefits of the source of Shilajit in comparison to our ionic fulvic mineral powder, it is absolutely on steroids, so to speak, when it comes to the fulvic acid content. This is huge in helping to drive nutrients into the cell, helping with cell energy, helping with mitochondrial health, nutrient absorption, collagen synthesis, muscle recovery, you name it. Little side story there. Hope you guys like the little oozing of the Himalayans, because it's kind of fun to kind of know where this stuff comes from, right? Of course, ours comes from the United States, our fulvic source. Next is guarana seed. You guys are very familiar with this because of our E-Vibe formulation. These little seeds are packed with antioxidant rich compounds. And so you do get a beautiful delivery of antioxidants in every single serving of alpha through even just the guarana seed extract, but also delivering 200 milligrams of caffeine per serving. So enjoy that. And again, of course, without the jitters. Next is tart cherry. Tart cherry extract has been well received by consumers. And as a matter of fact, it's been trending for the last several years. Everybody loves tart cherry. It's known to improve endurance, to help with following the body to recover following intense exercise. It promotes healthy blood pressure. It helps to work on decreasing uric acid buildup within the muscles. And it really, really drives a healthy inflammatory response. And it doesn't matter how little or how much movement you do with your body. Inflammatory response is just natural. It's going to happen. That's why when we wake up in the morning, we feel nice and deflated, like we feel like skinny, we feel good. And then by the time the evening falls, the feet might be a little bit swollen, right? The hands, you can feel it. You can feel it in your body. And that's just a day's work. That's a day's work of the body. But tart cherry will sweep in and help with that inflammatory response in a very, very healthy way. It also helps to reduce the loss of muscle strength, soreness, helps to speed recovery, especially in resistant trained individuals. Next is a trio of B vitamins. And of course, you will recognize these because they're found in Drench, they're found in E-Vibe, and that would be B2, B9, and B12. And you'll notice with B9 and B12 that we use methylated vitamins. So you've got methylfolate as your B9 and methylcobalamin as your B12. And some of you may not know this, but there are individuals who have an issue being able to absorb folate and B9 and B12. And so to methylate these vitamins so that everybody gets to absorb and use them is a really big deal. And that's been a part of our Zallevo portfolio since day one. We've used methylated vitamins since day one. You'll find them in your Ultra 30 shakes as well. So you've got a product that is gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free, vegan-friendly, non-GMO, no sugars added, no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, no preservatives. I want to go back to the no sugar. There are a lot of pre-workouts out there that do have added sugar because there's a need for specific types of athletes to ingest a little bit of glucose. That is not the majority of the population. It's a very small percentage of individuals. When they are driving hard, they have lean bodies, they have virtually 6 to 7, maybe 10% fat mass on their bodies. So they're very dependent on healthy fats and glucose to be able to bring into the body to use for energy. But for the average population that's moving and grooving their body, no sugar is best. This will teach the body to source out to its own fuels and stored fat on your body and to use that as fuel for energy as you are working out, which is exciting. Cost. Love this. Subscribe and save, $49.95, 15 servings, 50 in the volume department, 35 cc or CV. And that's where we segue to maybe some questions.
Wow. Well, that was awesome. And, it's interesting at the beginning when you were like, maybe people aren't showing up because they don't know that they, need this or want this. And so I'm excited to do this, to take my whole exercise and everything to the next level, my fitness. But we had a lot of more people jump on the call while you were talking. So that's exciting. I
Yes,
love
they
it.
must have gotten the word. People were like, hey, you need this.
Yes, for
You need-
sure. So one question I have, and then I'm going to turn over to Heidi because she was monitoring the chat and things like that for Q&A. So those of us that are used to drinking the Z Trio in the morning, so the E-Vibe, collagen, and burn, what would we drink? I mean, because you said to put this in. I mean, we could do that on the days that we're not consuming this, because we might not be consuming this every single day. But we would want to shoot this like 8 ounces and then maybe have the collagen and burn mode together after that, or what would you recommend?
Oh man, if you mixed alpha and burn mode, I don't even know what would happen. Because and I haven't even experimented. This is going to be so much fun, you guys, to experiment together and just to see how you feel. Because listen, burn mode has astaxanthin inside of it, which is a whopper of an antioxidant. And when you're exercising, you're pressing yourself, naturally, there's going to be free radicals that come on board because you're breathing and huffing and puffing. I mean, you are outside in most cases. And even if you're in the gym, you're inhaling guaranteed, pollution within your gym. And so burn mode rides in, and we should probably do a separate training on how to stack. And if you stack certain things, what it will do to open up more benefits, because that's going to be pretty powerful. So can you mix alpha, burn mode, and collagen 300? Yes. Yes, you certainly can. And remember, alpha lasts up to 6 hours. So it's not like if you drink it, that it's going to potentially not work. Now, here's the deal. If you sip on alpha over a 2-hour period of time, it might affect you a bit different. It's going to slow the release of the nitrosamine. It's going to slow the release of the taurine and the creatine and the beta alanine. Just think about that for 1 second. So if you want to drizzle that into the body, then you choose, you feel it, put it to the test, see how it feels in your body. It could be that the 8 ounces shake and go of just down the hatch and go out and hit the gym or your activity of choice, then of course, that is going to give the most punch for your serving. So, but if it's a sipping process, absolutely. The assistance with the blood flow and oxygenation to every single part of the body is going to benefit you in a lot of different areas in life. And I'm speaking to you gentlemen out there. So in the romance department, that is going to, with increased blood flow and oxygenation to every aspect of the body, you will feel a difference. In that romance department too. Can you put this as a duo? Yes. I would encourage you to kind of mix and match things as duos and trios and just see what you like. What is your perfect cocktail? We might have to snag your recipe and feature it on the website or something like that. So can't wait to hear.
That is great. Well, I love that. The other thing I was chuckling about is you said, to get that blood flow to your brain right before a presentation, well, just know, people, that you're going to be up for 6 hours from the time you drink it. So if you're drinking it on Jim Rhodes, I'm talking to you. Like, he always slugs an e-vibe right before, and then he's up till 1 or 2 in the morning. So yeah. Yes. So just know you're going to be up all night thinking of all the things, not all night, for about 6 hours. So I love that. Okay, Heidi, over to you to ask some more questions.
Yeah, fill the chat with them, guys, if you have some more. Kjersti, can you hit quickly on like creatine and some of the maybe myth bust a little bit on some of the misconceptions out there about creatine?
Uh-huh. Like, was there any specific, like question in regards to safety or concerns?
Nope, just how sometimes it can get a bad name, you know, that it causes damage to, you know, kidneys, or that it causes weight gain, or there's just different myths out there, I think, that, or are there synthetic versions of creatine too that maybe aren't as healthy for people as ours would be?
Mm-hmm. So again, creatine is naturally occurring in a carnivorous diet. So you're going to find it in meats. And again, the body naturally produces it already within the liver and the kidneys. And so what we're finding though is that the levels at which the body is producing creatine isn't maybe what it should be. The other thing too is that we're also finding that the macro loading that people are consuming in one day, they're not necessarily focused. The average person isn't necessarily focused on counting their grams of protein unless you're in Zallevo, right? Where we teach you to figure out how much protein should you be ingesting each day. And so we're dialed into it right now. But it's interesting because you really do need to be taking a creatine supplement on a daily basis. It is interwoven into your body, into your tissues, and it's imperative for cognitive health. So I would encourage you to take a look. Enter in creatine and cognitive health, and you will be blown away on the number of studies that have been done with those two combined, along with obviously health and well-being with tissues. The only drawback with creatine is it can give you stomach aches or bloating, but that's at exceptionally high doses. Like I'm talking 10 grams or more. So with what we have, which is 3 grams per dose, it's very safe, it's low, but it's also clinical. We chose the 3-gram dose because of clinical data. We wanted to see the science. We wanted to see the research. So we did a made analysis on creatine itself, and 3,000 milligrams or 3 grams is a beautiful dose without running into any of those side effects of it upsetting the stomach or making you feel bloated. And I'm going to tell you right now, whether you're trying to lose a few pounds or you're an athlete that's got a fine-tuned machine, nobody wants stomach discomfort or bloat. So that's pretty much where it is. Even more excessive amounts, you know, maybe it could affect kidneys or maybe liver or something like that, but that's in obscene doses. But this is a very, very safe ingredient and is naturally produced and occurring in the body and in our diets. So
wonderful. Well, anything, right? Everything in moderation. Otherwise, none of it's good for us.
Absolutely.
So one of the questions in here as it relates to creatine as well was, is it true that if you use creatine consistently and then stop using it, you lose any gains that you? No. Okay.
Nope.
Here we go, Ryan. Mythbusters right there.
Yes, because creatine will drive hydration into your cells, which helps with cell efficiency. But your muscles aren't built out of creatine. Your muscles are built out of amino acids. They're built out of the proteins in which you're eating. Remember, we talked about if you eat Oscar Mayer wieners, you're going to have Oscar Mayer wiener muscles. So, and it's true. So quality proteins moving into the body is what builds your muscles. It's not creatine that builds your muscles. So as far as the substance that builds out the muscle striation and the muscle mass, those are amino acids. So yeah, you're not going to all of a sudden lose. Could you, with it driving hydration into the cell, and let's say you're taking obscene amounts of creatine and you stop taking it, could you see hydration decrease in the cell? Probably. But it's not going to be unhealthy by any means. There's some people, some athletes that take obscene amounts and they'll see because it drives hydration in the cell, they will see they kind of look more swole, I guess, because it's more about water retention at that time. But when they turn off the creatine, then of course that inflammatory, or I guess overhydration, it will come back down. The other thing I want to make mention is that, do you have to worry about cycling on and off creatine? An athlete that does obscene high doses, most likely, but that's not Zallevo here. We're being exceptionally intelligent with the dose, that to where it's a beautiful efficacious dose that's scientifically proven. It's a safe dose. And again, remember, your body naturally produces it. It's within your body right now, even without alpha. So do you have to worry about cycling? No, because you're eating it and your body produces it naturally anyhow. And again, it's at a safe dose. So this isn't something that you're needing to cycle on and off or even worry about that by any means.
Wonderful. And I love this next question, because I wish we could almost do Alpha Build and Ultra 30 like all in one. It would just be like an hour and a half long session, folks. But here's the question. Would it be a true statement that when combined with our performance line that includes creatine with our core nutrition system, we are optimizing our body's ability to naturally increase muscle development and maintain that? And I think you just kind of answered that in your previous question, but absolutely, all of these things combined with that Ultra 30 and Build are going to be profound. Nothing short of profound.
It goes back to building anything that you want to build, whether you're building a house or you're building a car or you're building any object that requires parts, that requires bits and pieces that you assemble to create something. Your body is no different. So your body needs specific fuels and building blocks that, when put into the mouth, it all goes in here. Then your body then just brings it in, dissects it, and shuttles where it needs to go. And if you have different various building components that don't come on board on a regular basis, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You know, it's a matter of an optimal body versus a body that's not so optimal. It goes back to your fuels. Yes.
And I mean, when you were speaking to the fulvic acid, so I'm one of those people that have those issues with, converting folic acid, which is, not so good. That's a synthetic form of fulvic, correct? But as it relates to cognitive and muscle building and all of these different things. So I've used nutraceutical products in the past and almost had a reaction where in some instances they made me sicker. So can you talk a little bit about, the process of why we use the methylated form and why that's so important, why Zallevo does that and a lot of other companies out there do not?
Yes.
Or if that's a fair statement, I think it's pretty fair, at least in those that I have tried, and I tried all of them.
Yes. So what Heidi's talking about is our B vitamins inside of any of our Zallevo formulations. We use methylated B9 and 12. And the reason why they're methylated is because there are certain people that have, well, first of all, as a human, you have this gene that provides specific instructions for making an enzyme. And it's called methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. really long, really long. Okay. And this enzyme, it plays a huge role in processing amino acids, which are, again, the building blocks of the body. Now, MTHFR, that's what that stands for, is methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. It is important for a chemical reaction that is involved in vitamin folate and the body's ability to be able to even use folate. Folate is such a critical nutrient that is required for your body, for every single living cell. And if you don't have this gene that provides the instructions on how to make the enzyme so that you can absorb your folate, you're in trouble. As a matter of fact, lack of folate will lead to a gene mutation or chromosomal mutation in conceived embryos, and that then leads you to Down syndrome. So folate plays a huge role in making sure that chromosomal formation and activity upon conception stays intact, therefore not leading to a missing gene or excuse me, a missing chromosome, leading to Down syndrome. And it's huge. It used to be that folic acid used to be prescribed to pregnant women once they conceived, but it's really, really important. So again, Heidi and her family, this is a family genetic family thing for her. So for her, this is to know that she can take Zallevo and doesn't have to worry about her MTHFR gene and it not providing instructions for making an enzyme. This is like blessing in disguise. So just know that those that struggle with this will be able to absorb their folate and absorb their methylcobalamin.
It's kind of a big deal for me, guys.
Huge, huge.
We're at 8 o'clock. Does anyone else have any questions? I mean, I can go on and on here and just pick Kjersti's brain, but for sake of respecting everyone's time, I suppose we could check for one more. What do we got? Recommended to, oh, is there a recommended max daily limit to fulvic acid?
Not really. Because it is a water soluble, so your body is going to take on what it needs and then it'll excrete what it doesn't. So the answer is your urine expensive or not? That's why our vital cores only hold 50% of the DV, because it's more important for you to trickle vitamins in and minerals in and nutrients in throughout the day than it is to have like 5,000% of something or 10,000% of something or 278% of something. Here's the deal. This is a fun fact on this. Did you know that vitamin C, in order to replenish your vitamin C pool in your body on a daily basis, you really only need about 78 milligrams a day? And people have been taking 1,000 milligrams every day. So just think about that. If you're consistent with vitamin C supplementation, about 70, maybe 90 milligrams max to fill your vitamin C pool. Now, if you're super stressed, are you exhausting your vitamin C pool quicker? Yes. If you are sick, are you exhausting your vitamin C pool quicker? Yes. So when you're sick, underneath exquisite stress, would it behoove you to take more than 90 milligrams of vitamin C per day to refill your pool? Yes. But 1,000 milligrams all at once, you've got some going in the pool, the rest is moving into the urine in about 30 to 45 minutes. And so it's expensive. So the ticket is drip it into the system all day. Get a little in with your shake. Get a little in with your berries. Get a little in with something else. Get a little in with collagen. This is part of the philosophy here, is just kind of ride it in here and ride it in there. And then you're constantly replenishing throughout the day instead of these big fell swoops for first thing in the morning, AM. And then your body will take in what it can, but everything else falls out. Everything else is excreted through the urine or through fecal matter. So The secret to success on supplementation and feeding your body is to periodically drip good stuff in there and not worry about these 1,000, 2,000, 5,000%. The only thing that I ever recommend to really guard with is your vitamin D3 and your magnesium. Those two components, vitamin D3, if you live north of Flagstaff, Arizona, on the latitude line that circles around the earth, you better drive your D3 intake up, especially in winter months, because you're not getting enough UVA or UV exposure to the skin that is going to trigger the synthesis, the natural creation of D3 within your body naturally. So you have to eat it because you don't have enough sun exposure or UV exposure. So the further north you go in the hemisphere, the more D3 you need. So I always advise people to test your D3, and it's easy. If you're going to have a blood panel done, it's $25 to add a D3 test to it. And then they can tell you like, oh, you're low, or you're spot on, or you're way too high, because maybe you're taking 10,000 IUs a day and you just didn't know it. Because D3 is not water soluble, it's a fat soluble vitamin. So the more that you eat, the more it loads into the body. It doesn't excrete like a water soluble vitamin does. And then the other thing is magnesium. We've got great amounts of magnesium peppered throughout our entire line. So if you're taking multiple Zallevo formulations, chances are you're getting a gorgeous amount of magnesium, from the Ultra 30 to the Vital Cores that are going to be coming, to Drench that's going to be coming. So pay attention to your magnesium, because if you're currently taking a magnesium supplement, and let's say you start bringing in Vital Cores and Drench, and you could find that your stools become a little bit softer or too soft. And so you can back off your magnesium that you're supplementing on the side a little bit. But for women especially, watch your mag load. And men and women, this is important. This was part of my research today, is that constipation is a big deal. So we're going to talk about some poopy right now, because this is a really big deal. It's a really good sign to watch for health and well-being. If you are constipated, then the chances of you being dehydrated or malnourished is pretty great. Magnesium comes into the body, and it's such a powerful mineral, and it is exquisitely important for hormone production for both men and women. Women were so much more complex than men when it comes to hormones. So we'll burn through magnesium far more than men. Men need less magnesium, women need more magnesium. And so if you are constipated, check your mag load for the day, because it could be that you just need to bring a little bit more on board to make up the difference, because you should be having 1 to 2 bowel movements every single day. If you're not, it's cluttering your body, and toxins are moving straight back into your system, because part of two of your detox pathways is urine and stool. And if the stool ain't moving, then it's just sitting there in the body, and the body isn't eliminating it out, and it's unhealthy. So make sure that your mag is up to par, and so is your D3. Those are the only 2 things at this time, at this age of company that we have, that you would want to even consider adding in to any other facet of any kind of stack of formulations that you guys are enjoying and putting together.
So beautiful. Nothing that, yeah, I love that nothing is overloaded, that we're not flooding the pools as the doctors mentioned it, and that it's sprinkled out throughout the body to be utilized all day. And boy, do I feel it when I miss a day or two. If I'm traveling and I vacationed a couple times without my Ultra 30, never again. I pack up the bags, pack up the girls, get the suitcases, and that Ultra 30 goes with me everywhere for that exact reason.
I love that.
I really feel it when it's not on board.
You know, what's interesting is that the Ultra 30 is really good at sweeping the gut too after you get back from vacation and you don't have a shake. The first shake back is like, I think that I just cleaned out all of those fries and cheesecake. I love it so much. It's fun. It is great. No, that is so non-compliant. Don't put that as an advertisement.
Oh, I guess we better cut this off right now so that we can
Oh.
edit that part out. I love that. What I love is that every time you say that tart cherry is in there, I just crack up because we own 75 acres of tart cherries growing up. And I didn't even know that they were good for us. They were just annoying to me. So I love knowing now that they had a purpose in all of our lives. So
Yes.
that's fun. Well, everyone, thank you for being here. And we are excited that next week we're going to be covering the new formulation of Build. And it's just, all of these are just incredible formulations. It's going to be just as great as tonight and last week. So Kjersti, thank you for being on here tonight, taking the time out while you're here in office. And so if everyone wants to unmute and tell Kjersti thank you, and then we'll have a few announcements right after that. So do you want to unmute your lines right now?
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're the
Thank
best,
you.
Kjersti.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Kjersti. It was
you.
awesome.
Awesome.
You're the best.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. Richard,
Thank you.
I brought my keychain with me.
Oh,
Thank you.
cool.
again.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yes, I do. Thank
Love
you.
I
it.
enjoyed making them.
That's
Kjersti,
awesome.
thank you for being on. We sure do.
You're
love and
welcome.
appreciate
Bye,
it.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Did you love that? Or